You know, when you think about a webcam, you probably picture that little plastic dot staring back at you from the top of your laptop monitor.
Right, the one you just plug in and hope you don't look entirely washed out for your morning meeting.
Exactly. But today, we're doing a deep dive into something that makes that built-in lens look like, well, an absolute toy. We're unpacking the spec sheet for the Bolin Technology N2-220XW NDI HX3 FHD PTZ camera.
Specifically the white edition.
Yeah, the white edition. And I think we have to start with the sticker shock here because it comes with a price tag of $11,195. I mean, why drop that kind of money just to set up a small studio or, a presentation room?
Well, because this really isn't trying to be a webcam. It's built on Bolin's Blue Line platform, which is, it's basically a way of taking high-end television studio-grade hardware and shrinking it down for the modern office.
So it's aiming for a totally different tier of quality.
Exactly. The goal is to bridge that massive gap between a grainy standard video call and a true professional broadcast.
Okay, but to justify almost $1,200, I mean, it has to pull some serious weight. Let's look at how this thing actually sees. The spec sheet says it packs a 2.13 megapixel Sony CMOS sensor.
Yeah, the CMOS sensor is basically the electronic eye of the whole operation.
Right. But what does that actually mean for, the person sitting in front of it?
Well, because it's a high-quality Sony sensor doing progressive scanning, it captures the entire image frame by frame rather than splicing alternating lines together. So you get this incredibly crisp 1080p picture at 60 frames a second.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's super smooth.
It is, but the real advantage is the lens. It actually has a 20x optical zoom.
Wait, 20x? That's huge for a room camera.
Yeah, you could mount this at the far end of a massive corporate boardroom, zoom all the way in on the CEO's handwritten notes on a whiteboard, and the image stays perfectly sharp, like no pixelation at all.
That's wild. But a camera doing all that, PTZ stands for pan, tilt, zoom, right? So it sounds like a tiny robot operator.
That's essentially what it is.
But anyone who's used a motorized camera knows they can be super frustrating. Won't panning across a room mid-presentation look, I don't know, incredibly jerky? And won't the motors be loud during a live stream?
They definitely would be if it used standard step motors. But Bolin engineered this with an adaptive drive mechanism.
Okay, what does that do?
Instead of mechanically jumping from point A to point B, the motor actually calculates the distance and smoothly ramps up the speed and then gradually slows it down before stopping. So it just glides.
Oh, so it feels more like a human is operating it.
Exactly. And while it's moving, there's an onboard AI engine analyzing the faces in the room. So if a speaker walks out of a dark corner and right into bright sunlight,
It doesn't just blow out the image.
right, the AI instantly recalculates the exposure and focus for that specific face. So the subject never gets washed out by the changing light.
Okay, so the image is flawless, but getting that massive uncompressed video file from the camera to your audience seems like the next major hurdle.
It is usually the tricky part, yeah.
Because looking at the ports on the back of this thing, I'm not going to lie, it's pretty intimidating. You've got NDI HX3, HDMI, USB, 3G SDI, plus, audio inputs.
A lot of acronyms.
It is. Doesn't this create just an absolute wiring nightmare for whoever has to install it?
It looks overwhelming, sure, but you don't actually use them all at once. They are options based on your room's setup. Like USB is just for a simple PC connection.
Okay, that makes sense. And the SDI.
3G SDI is a heavy-duty broadcast standard that lets you run incredibly long cables across a stage without losing any video quality. But the real leap forward here is the NDI HX3.
Right, I see that acronym thrown around a ton in AV circles. What does it actually do?
NDI stands for Network Device Interface. It compresses high-quality video just enough so you can send it over a standard office internet network without any noticeable lag.
Oh, that's huge. So you don't need dedicated video cable.
Exactly. And because this camera uses power over Ethernet, or PoE, you literally only need one single Ethernet cable to run the entire show.
Wait, really? Just one standard network cable?
Just one. That single cord powers the camera, sends the video out, and transmits the control signals that tell it to pan and tilt.
So if you wanted to, you could just run one Ethernet cable across the ceiling, mount the camera upside down, and be totally done.
Yes, and it even has a built-in E-flip function.
E-flip? What's that?
A sensor inside actually detects that the camera is mounted upside down and automatically flips the video feed right side up. So you don't have to go digging through complex software menus to fix the orientation.
That is super clever. So basically, for $1,195, you are essentially buying a high-end camera, a robotic mount, and an AI camera operator all in one compact package.
That's the value proposition, yeah. I mean, this is the invisible technology powering those highly polished webinars and remote broadcasts you interact with every single day.
Right. You rarely see the camera itself, but you definitely experience that premium feel.
Absolutely. It completely automates the traditional camera operator's job.
Yeah. Which honestly leaves you with a really interesting thought. I mean, if every room you walk into can instantly, silently, and, autonomously become a professional broadcast studio, how does that change human behavior?
That's a good point.
Yeah, like when the technology fades perfectly into the background like that, do you ever stop performing for the lens? Definitely something to think about.